Hello everybody, welcome back. It is a beautiful Sunday here at Blast Away the Game Review. I do hope a lot of you have been having fun with the open beta. If you have not had a chance, I have been stressing in the past 3 videos, which you can see in the playlist, that the Battlefield open beta for Battlefield 1 is available on the Xbox One, the All Entertainment system, via the Xbox Live Marketplace. You can download it on PlayStation 4 via the PlayStation Store. Or, for those of you on PC, visit Origin and download there. Give it a whirl. It's only going to be around, I'm assuming, for just a few more days, which unfortunately makes me really sad since I've been having a blast with it. As you can see, we're once more going to be using Battlefield 4 game footage to compare how airplanes handle between World War I and the modern day. Because of that, I've actually got some footage to start us out. In Battlefield 4, I took notice of the fact that planes handle a lot sharper. They're not being slow, they're not clunky, they're not feeling heavy with a lot of drag. Instead, we're seeing precise, quick, insanely lethal. Whereas in World War I was seeing quite the opposite. Now, because of this, I did decide to mess around a little bit more with Battlefield 4 and go with extended footage, because there are a few differences. One thing is, you're not going to have glass windshields like you do on the cockpit here. You're not going to have the map layout. You're not going to have your screen velocity showing how fast you're going, your ammunition, where you're aiming. That's really not available, especially because of the time frame you're in. Now, I know some of you might be a little disappointed at the idea that you can't see your ammo count, you can't see that kind of thing. Trust me, you really don't have to worry about that with Battlefield 1. They really took the need to go away. Now, one thing that has changed, because they took the engineer class out in Battlefield 1, you're not going to see, like you're seeing here on the screen, you're not seeing durability go back up. Instead, you have to repair during combat. In any vehicle, it is problematic, and it's something that has actually left me to die several times, but it is a function I'm not going to grow weary of. Now, the other thing you're not going to see is the map, again, is not going to be in Battlefield 1 like it is in 4. Again, in the video comparison I did just the other day, we saw how Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo were on the top of the screen. You could see which one was friendly, which one was hostile. You could also see that the map was formed to match a map of that time frame, a compass to be more exact, whereas this one's actually matching the sonar from a jet. Now, is that something I'm going to be a little disappointed with seeing? Not at all. It feels authentic. I like it. I do like how the planes handle. I do like the atmosphere in both games. I'm pretty sure I'll be spending a lot of time with them. The other thing I did decide to take a little bit of time with is because helicopters are so important, especially with their flight pattern. I figured I would use helicopters, especially because planes like the Bomber feel like you're flying a UH Venal. I know it sounds weird, but it truly does. It's got the drag, it's got the heftiness, the bulk. It feels slow, it feels clunky, but it's effective in doing what it's doing, especially as you see here. I'm just flying around, hovering, getting a feel for what truly makes the helicopter feel unique, which is I would almost say it feels like it has some drag. Now, I could be very wrong on this, but it feels like the helicopter is meant to be slow, it's meant to be clunky, it's heavy. It's supposed to be this way, because if you think about it, it is a gunship in the air. It's a transport unit. Now, will we see something like this in Battlefield 1? Not at all. You're not going to see a transport unit in the air. Unfortunately, for us, there is nothing like that back then. The closest thing you're going to see is vehicles like the Land Shark, which are insanely fun to play with. I really do wish I was going to be talking more about the other vehicles, but because I am such a fan of being in the air, that's where we're going to go today. We're not going to be talking about comparisons between the light armor vehicle and, say, the MRAP. Unfortunately, for some of you, I know you want that. I promise I'll try to get another video out, especially before this beta ends, to give you that bit of information. But unfortunately, at this time, it's not really high on the priority list, especially because we're not focusing on stuff like that. Air combat is one of the things that saw the biggest changes, so that is one of the things we will be focusing on the most. Now, if you do want something like that, I will be doing a write-up, so you can look for the write-up, but don't expect a YouTube video. I do apologize for those that want that. Now, several things do stick true to the period that some of you, like myself, will be excited about, and one of those things just happens to be the fact that gunners play an important role to the pilots. Many of you already know that you had your aces in the sky, which that wasn't just the pilot, that was their gunner, that was their partners, the people that effectively kept them alive. As you're seeing here, I opted not to fly the plane. Instead, I opted to be the gunner for the pilot. And here, like you can see, we are taking combat. I'm not using the gun as realistic as I should. Realistically, I probably should not be able to do a full 360-degree turn with my turret just for the sake of the airplane, because guns back then were not optimized to be as efficient in an airplane as they are now. As you can see, I'm even having a heck of a time shooting at this guy, but I'm doing it regardless, and I'm giving my pilot some cover. Now, because I did get knocked out of the plane, I went ahead and kept the footage where I'm on the ground, just to kind of give you an idea how valuable air combat is in this game. It's extremely important, especially for your teammates. It gives them the coverage they need. It also gives a feel to the fact that if they need defense on the go, they have it. Now, some of you are wondering probably what is going on that whenever I get, say, knocked out of a plane, that my loadouts are going to be different. Well, I know I left that in the video yesterday, which you can click the number 2 video. It discusses it, so does number 3. But right now, we're discussing airplanes. Now, I did decide to show you here, one thing that is different with airplanes, especially in this era, you had to worry about motor stall. You actually had different planes for different things. As you can tell, he obliterated my plane, unfortunately, which means he took me out of the sky, which means my team didn't have air coverage, but I'm not going to give up. Now, the thing that does hurt players who aren't adjusted to this type of combat, when you hold down what is essentially the brake button for your airplanes, or just your stall in general, you're actually going to slow your plane down, but you're also going to turn off the motor. Meaning your plane is dead in the air and you're in a free fall. Don't expect like Battlefield 4 where you can just slam on the motor and just get going again, because planes back then did not have turbines. They were not as quick to act, and unfortunately this means some other ace in the sky is going to come and take you out because you're free game for everybody to take. Now, does this mean that planes are going to be more efficient back then than they are now? For the time frame, I would say they're equally as efficient. You're seeing bombers drop bombs, whether it's an incendiary bomb or a high explosive, they're both doing their jobs regardless. They are cleaning house, but unlike Battlefield 4, you're not going to have planes doing flybys, doing ground to air like you would back then. Even to now. I mean, it's not as common, but it does happen. I have done it. Unfortunately, I was not able to keep the footage. Something about it messed up, and so it's not here for the video edit. Now, one thing I really liked about airplane combat in Battlefield 1 so far is, as I have said, I'm going to use the word authenticity a lot, is how authentic the combat really is. The air combat flow is smooth. It's not something that I would expect, especially for the time frame with how slow and clunky planes are, but it offers a lot of versatility to the battlefield, and that is something DICE and EA have been great at. I know a lot of you who have even played Battlefront know Battlefield and Battlefront aren't too different. They both offer the same type of deal. Now, I do want to talk about the bomber, because personally, I am a gigantic fan of bombing. The bomber is, as I said earlier, it's slow and it's clunky. It kind of reminds me of a cross between the UH1 Y1 Venom, in the Blackbird. It offers this clunky, it offers this difficult to use, and it even offers people who like to pilot helicopters some form of piloting capability, because they're going to get the vehicles they're used to. They're going to get that combat flow that they like. Unfortunately, you're not going to get a lot of that, say, piloting a fighter or a assault, because they aren't going to offer the type of gameplay you're going to be used to. Unfortunately, for some of you, that might be a little problematic. Now, with the beta coming to a close on September the 8th, I do plan on getting a few more videos out. I would like to be able to take a look at vehicles like the Land Shark, the light armored vehicle, just to kind of give you a feel of what you can expect when the game launches, especially for those of you who did not have a chance to give the beta a go. Now, I do want to stress, if you have not, please go download this beta on the PlayStation Store for PlayStation 4. On Xbox One, you can visit on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and on PC, you can download today on Origin. Now, remember, you only have 4 more days to hammer out as much of this as you can. That means those of you who do hit level 15 and play as much as possible, there's going to be a special dog tag for you to obtain. Now, will there be other rewards? Probably not, but I wouldn't put it past EA and DICE to slip something through. Now, with our time running out, I just have a matter of seconds. I do want to thank all of you for tuning in again. Again, I am your host, Dustin Murphy. We do want to hear from you, so please leave comments on our YouTube, our Facebook, Twitter, and on Google Plus for Google Plus users. Thank you for tuning in.